Hi, I'm Tim Bartz, Internet Sales Manager here at McArthur Ford in Salina, Kansas, your source for Ford news update and information with a very important video on the 2023 Ford Bronco. So, we got some news today that I want to make sure it gets out there and dealers know and even customers know this information, because I think it's very important for those that have an order in the system to making sure that the order doesn't get canceled, as well as those thinking about putting an order in. Some other things to note. So some notification went out to dealers today, and I just want to make sure I get this information out. So if you'd like to stay updated on Bronco news, information, updates, that kind of thing, as well as our walk around videos, then check out our YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button down below so you can subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you get notified the next time another video uploaded to the channel. So this is this dealer news update came out, and just reminding dealers to make sure that they COVP their current 2023 orders that are in the order system. And to me, I'm like, well, yeah, you've been asking us to do that since November, and they even in the bulletin said that they've had 2 different deadlines for to COVP these orders. And dealers, originally on 2023, they said, allocations weren't going to be given based on the COVP being done, so it was recommended. But then Ford said, no, on these carryover orders, they need to be COVP'd and be put in the system. Originally, we had a date of November 21st that those had to be done, and then Ford updated and said, okay, that's been extended to January 24th, and that's when they released the information about that Bronco transition order modification offer that came out, and so that we can help make sure, hey, that can only go to those customers that have a COVP done. That's how we know which orders to give those offers to. Without that information, we don't know that. So that was given as an expiration date of the 24th. But currently, there's still 28% of the orders in the Bronco order banks right now that do not have a COVP approval on those. That's a big deal. That means 1/3 of all the Broncos in the order system will get canceled on March 7th. So again, I mean, this is a serious thing for those people that have orders. So dealers, make sure you're looking through all of your orders. Check them out. Look in the COVP. Make sure you have that approval status, not a hold, not a submitted. Make sure all those orders say approved on them, so that those orders will not get canceled. So it does say in here, any unscheduled order not submitted and approved by March 7th will be canceled. So those orders will be canceled in there. So you want to make sure that that is done. So that's something that like kind of a bullet point here, that you need to make sure you're doing that with your customers and making sure you have good orders. Also, you'll notice that that March 7th date is also the deadline for those that have an unscheduled order if they want to make any modifications. So if you have that luxury package, or you have the Sasquatch package, or you have the hardtop if you're a 4-door, you can take those off of your non-wild track order, and then you can get $2,500 to be used on your order when it comes in, and will help it get scheduled a little bit faster. So, and again, this really depends on your dealership, on how many orders they have left and how many allocations they're getting in March, on whether or not this needs to be done. Like for us, we're kind of holding off to see how many allocations we're getting for March before we contact we've kind of contacted our customers. Customers kind of know, but before we make any changes, we've kind of told them, let's just hold off right now, because we only have 10 orders left in the order bank, unscheduled orders that are left to be scheduled. We should get about 12 to 13 allocations in March. So let's see, if we get a lower number than that, then it might be something to think about. But we still are going to be able to get scheduled in April and May and June for these customers as well, because they're going to have the highest priority at a priority 10. When we take new orders, we're going to prioritize the first orders we have first. So we feel confident, even if they do have Sasquatch and such, that they're going to get scheduled. But if you're at a dealership that has a lot more orders than that, and maybe they have less allocations a month, and it looks like it could take the whole year to get them scheduled, that could be a kind of a mess there that may not get scheduled. So it generally depends on your dealership, your orders and allocations available for that. So that's something to think about. But that deadline is March 7th. And something else to note about that deadline is that if you are planning to cancel your order and take delivery of another 23 vehicle, non-Bronco vehicle, or take delivery of a Bronco or another in-stock vehicle, you can do that and get the $2,500, but your dealer needs to go in and document your decision in the COVP website. So that has to happen to get the offer. So I've had some people say, well, I canceled my order, but it's not showing that I have the private offer. Well, that's because the dealership needs to go in and document your intention to cancel the order to get that offer. So make sure that you're doing that. There is instructions on how that is done. Your dealership should have those instructions. If your dealership is struggling with that, or if your dealership out there and you're like, I don't have this information, I have the document I can send to you. You can contact me, but I'm not going to put it on out here on social media and on our YouTube videos. But I do have that information, and dealers have that information as well. Check with the Bronco specialist. It is in the Bronco information, the Bronco page. On FMC Dealer, if you need to find that, that's a good place to go to find that information. So it is a step-by-step of what you need to do. So we've actually had a couple customers that canceled an order because a wild track did come in that the customer didn't take, so they were able to take delivery of that one. So we went in there, put their intention in there, they were able to use that offer on an in-stock Bronco. So that is something you want to make sure you do as well. So that's something. And again, March 7th is the deadline to make any modifications. Also, those that have a wild track, they will also get that. So I forgot to mention those customers earlier, but if you're a wild track, you want to switch over to Badlands, then you can make those changes as well, and get that modification $2,500 for making that change. Don't forget, you will need to take off the luxury package, the hardtop on the 4-door, and the Sasquatch if you do switch from that. So if you go from wild track to Badlands, you'll still need to take off the Sasquatch and go at least to the high package or the mid package, and you also need to take off the hardtop for the 4-doors. 2-doors don't need to take off the hardtop; they're standard with those, but you'll need to make those changes as well on those wild track to receive the $2,500 offer. I want to make sure I clarify and go over that as well. So something else to note is the Bronco name match policy has returned. So Ford is going to give dealers full detail information on this, but the name match, for those that don't know, means that if an order is submitted for that customer needs to take delivery of that order. So what they're going to do is there is going to be a threshold, a certain percentage that dealers need to be at within that threshold for those orders. So if they get below that, they will lose allocations in 2024. As a customer, you don't want to have that happen to a dealership's, other customers that are wanting to order in 24. So you want to make sure that you do that. So they are recommending that dealers that have an order, a 23 order, and the customer is wanting to cancel, or they're not going to take delivery of theirs, to cancel those orders. So that way that helps your name match and help you achieve that threshold. Also, something to note, they said that they will all these will need to be COVP approved. So that's something that's going to need to be done on the Broncos. For 23, they want to make sure that customers that really want a Bronco is going to order a Bronco. And that is one of my tips in here, is that it's very imperative that if you are going to order a Bronco, that you need to take that Bronco. So that helps the dealerships out meet their threshold. There are going to be some situations that happen that might not happen, especially if it takes 2 months for them to get scheduled, and 2 months for them to produce them. It could be, a 4 to 6 month process for you to get your Bronco on these new orders. We should be able to be within that as long as your dealership stays to their allocation numbers, which means that, some things happen, lifestyle changes happen. There's things that happen where expenses aren't where they are. People lose their job, people change their job. Maybe their vehicle is broken down and it was their plan to be their daily driver, and they don't have any option but to get another vehicle, and then they can't take their Bronco. And that happens. And that's why there's a percentage and not 100%. It's going to be a lower percentage, probably going to be somewhere in the 70 to 80% is my thinking. But if you're in a situation where something's going to happen, you're not going to take that before your Bronco gets scheduled, let your dealership know so they can cancel that order. And so that really helps them with the name match and gives another person an opportunity to go ahead and order a Bronco. So keep that in mind on that. So I just going to want to prep people on that system, because we know when the new orders happen that this policy is going to be in place for the new 23 orders. So something to keep in mind. Wouldn't be surprised if dealerships do require a deposit because of that, for that fact. for that there. So we'll just have to see. It really depends on the dealerships and what they require. We haven't decided on what we're going to do on that either, but we do want to make sure that if a person's going to place an order, that they take their order. So, and by the way, I didn't clarify this, but COVP stands for Customer Order Verification Process, so, or custom order. So that is a way for Ford to verify that it's a real person. So there's certain requirements that have to be accomplished for that to be submitted into that system. So anyway, I think I've covered everything. There was something else that just popped in my mind a second ago. I kind of wanted to make sure I covered. But yeah, make sure that those private offers are in there, and make sure you've done everything there. And so again, if you're wanting to get a new order and such, make sure you look for your local dealership, find out, talk to them, have those conversations with them. How many orders do you have, or pre-orders, people in line waiting to order? How many allocations are you going to be? Is my order going to be within that allocation, and that kind of thing, and putting that order in. So again, so just important information I want to make sure I got out there to everybody about the name match policy that's going to be basically reinstated here for the Bronco, as well as that expiration date for current order holders. Make sure that those are submitted into COVP by March 7th, and don't forget that offer expires on March 7th for those that want to make those modifications. So to get that $2,500, you need to make that by March 7th. So a couple different key dates there that are coming up here in just a couple weeks. So I want to make sure you guys have all the bits of information here. And of course, always want to stay updated on Bronco news, information, updates. Then subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the notification bell so you can always be notified when we have new content on the Bronco or any of the Ford models, like we like to do here at McArthur. In fact, you can probably tell we've had two bits of information to drop today, the Super Duty as well as the Bronco. So we want to keep you guys updated as quick as we find out by doing these videos for you. So again, thanks for watching this video. If you did like it, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can be notified next time we have another video updated to our to our YouTube channel there. And don't forget, stay positive, be kind to one another, be kind to yourself, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.